By using the Languages feature built into Aquro, you can easily create multilingual apps in just a few simple steps. To achieve multilingual apps, Aquro works with a phrases registry that can be translated into any number of languages. When the app loads, it will identify the language of the device and then try to find if the phrases that you have in your app have been translated into this language. If not, the app will simply fall back to the default language. And you may also make your user choose their preferred language manually, and then the app will translate into their preferred language. To implement multi-language support, our first step is to convert all text in our app into phrases. I'll do this by going through all components on my pages and editing all the properties that contain text that I want to translate, and then go ahead and convert these texts into phrases. I'll start by selecting one of my components, locating the text property, clicking on the wand icon, and then clicking on Convert to Phrase. Now, we'll choose the name of the phrase. In this case, I'll keep the default value as it is automatically generated to a name that identifies which page and which component this phrase belongs to. Lastly, I can modify the default value of this phrase, as mentioned earlier. The default value is the value that will be displayed if the active language hasn't been configured, or the fallback language. I'll keep my default phrases to the values already existing in my app, and to save the phrase, I'll simply click Save. Now, I'll go ahead and do the same for all the text values on this page. When I'm done, I can save the page. And as you can see, nothing at all has happened in the preview window. And this is because I kept all of the original text values as my default phrases or in the original language they were in, so we can't really see anything changing just yet. But let's head over to the Languages folder and open up the default language. Here, we can now see our 3 phrases that I just converted from text into phrases. If I change the welcome phrase to instead show welcome to our app, and then refresh the preview window, we can now see that the text has been changed. This is how phrases work, and when the app is loaded, it identifies my language and tries to load that language. However, since we don't have any specified language, it did fall back to the default language and loaded these phrases as their defaults. Let's go ahead and continue by adding another language. I'll do this by right-clicking on the Languages folder and selecting Add Language. Since we're based over here in Stockholm, I'm going to choose Swedish from the list of available languages. In this window, I can now translate all of my default phrases into Swedish. I'll do that now. Once the phrases have been configured, they're ready to be used in our app. Let's therefore go ahead and head back to the home page and edit the click event for the Swedish flag. To manually specify that the language in the app should be Swedish, we can use the language set block and specify the country code for the language. The language code for Swedish is SV, therefore I'll go ahead and specify this one. Finally, to apply the changes of the selected language, I'll reload the page by using the page load block. I'll do the same for the US flag, and this time I'll set EN as the language code, as this is the language code for English. When that's done, I can just go ahead and save the page and try the functionality out in the preview window. As you can see, when choosing Swedish, the app is translated into Swedish, and when choosing English, the app is translated back to the default language, which is English. Using phrases throughout your app makes it possible to easily create a fully multilingual app without the hassle. Go ahead and try out our Languages feature today.